The bustling town of Tarlac in the Philippines found itself captivated by the enigmatic presence of their very own mayor, Alice Gou. She was a beacon of hope for many, a symbol of progress and prosperity. Her charisma was undeniable, and her rise to power seemed like something out of a storybook. But beneath the surface of her charm and success lay a secret, a truth that would soon unravel, leaving the town in shock and disbelief. Alice Gou's journey to becoming the beloved mayor of Tarlac was nothing short of remarkable. She arrived in the Philippines as a young entrepreneur, determined to make her mark in a new land. With her sharp business acumen and unwavering determination, she quickly climbed the ladder of success, establishing herself as a prominent figure in the local business community. Her ventures spanned various sectors, from real estate to retail, each adding another feather to her cap. As her wealth and influence grew, so did her popularity among the people of Tarlac. However, fate, it seemed, had other plans. Alice Gou's journey to the mayor's office was paved with ambition and a knack for winning over the hearts and minds of the people. She arrived in Tarlac as a relatively unknown entrepreneur, but her charisma and business acumen quickly made her a force to be reckoned with. Her early ventures focused on real estate, acquiring prime properties and developing them into lucrative commercial spaces. The people of Tarlac were drawn to Gou's infectious energy and her promises of progress and prosperity. She spoke their language, understood their concerns, and presented herself as the solution to their problems. Her campaign rallies were grand spectacles filled with music, dancing, and promises of a brighter future. Through a combination of shrewd political maneuvering and genuine grassroots support, Alice Gou secured a landslide victory in the mayoral elections. Little did they know that her past held secrets that would soon come back to haunt her. As Alice Gou settled into her role as mayor, basking in the adulation of her constituents, a storm was brewing on the horizon. Whispers of inconsistencies in her personal history began to circulate. Her peculiar accent became a topic of hushed conversations. Questions arose about her educational background. Gou boasted of prestigious degrees, but verification attempts proved futile. Allegations of shady business dealings added fuel to the fire. The stage was set for a dramatic confrontation, forcing Mayor Gou to address the mounting allegations. The walls began to close in on Alice Gou's carefully constructed facade, when an investigative journalist decided to delve into the mayor's past. He embarked on a journey that took him across borders, following a trail of documents and testimonies that painted a very different picture of the woman who had presented herself as a daughter of the Philippines. His investigation revealed that Alice Gou was in fact born and raised in China, not the Philippines, as she had claimed. Her real name was revealed to be Liu Xiaoli, and her family had emigrated to the Philippines when she was a teenager. The journalist unearthed immigration records, school documents, and even childhood photographs that corroborated his findings, leaving no room for doubt about Gou's true origins. The revelation sent shockwaves through Tarlac and beyond. The woman who had claimed to understand the struggles of the Filipino people, who had spoken of her deep love for the nation, was exposed as a fraud. The sense of betrayal was palpable, particularly among those who had been her most ardent supporters. With Alice Gou's true identity exposed, her once celebrated business empire became the subject of intense scrutiny. Authorities launched investigations into her companies, determined to uncover the truth behind their meteoric rise. One by one, irregularities began to surface. Tax records revealed discrepancies, with allegations of underreporting income and evading taxes. Permits were found to have been granted under questionable circumstances, with accusations of bribery and favoritism being leveled against Gou and her associates. The web of deception seemed to grow wider with each passing day, ensnaring not just the mayor but also officials within her administration. The Securities and Exchange Commission launched a probe into Gou's companies, examining their financial records and business dealings. The Anti-Money Laundering Council followed suit, investigating allegations of illicit fund transfers and suspicious transactions. The once untouchable business empire was crumbling under the weight of its own secrets. As the investigations into Alice Gou's business empire deepened, a pattern of systematic deception and fraud began to emerge. Prosecutors accused her of using her position as mayor to enrich herself and her cronies, awarding lucrative contracts to companies she secretly controlled. One of the most damning accusations centered around a massive infrastructure project, a new highway that was supposed to connect Tarlac to neighboring provinces. Investigators discovered the bidding process had been rigged in favor of a construction company secretly owned by Gou. The company, despite lacking the necessary experience, was awarded the contract at an inflated price, raising suspicions of kickbacks and embezzlement. This revelation sparked outrage among Tarlac residents who felt betrayed by the mayor they had once admired. The revelations of Alice Gou's alleged deception and fraud sent shockwaves through Tarlac, leaving the community reeling in a maelstrom of outrage and disillusionment. The woman they had once hailed as their savior, the beacon of hope who had promised them progress and prosperity, was now exposed as a charlatan. Protests erupted across Tarlac, with residents taking to the streets to demand Gou's resignation and prosecution. They carried placards emblazoned with slogans like "Gou must go" and "Justice for Tarlac," their voices hoarse from chanting their anger and frustration. The once peaceful town was transformed into a battleground as clashes between protesters and police became a regular occurrence. The scandal divided the community, pitting neighbour against neighbour, friend against friend. Those who continued to support Gou clashed with those who felt betrayed and demanded accountability. The social fabric of Tarlac was torn asunder, the wounds of this betrayal cutting deep and threatening to leave lasting scars. In the face of mounting allegations and public outrage, Alice Gou remained defiant, vehemently denying any wrongdoing and proclaiming her innocence. She dismissed the accusations as politically motivated slander, a desperate attempt by her opponents to discredit her and seize power for themselves. Her legal team, a formidable assembly of high-powered attorneys, launched a vigorous defense, challenging the validity of the evidence presented against her. They argued that the accusations were based on hearsay and speculation, lacking concrete proof to substantiate the claims of corruption and fraud. They pointed to Gou's track record as mayor, highlighting the projects she had initiated, the jobs she had created, and the improvements she had made to the lives of Tarlac's residents. Gou herself remained a visible presence, appearing at public events and granting interviews to defend her name and proclaim her innocence. Her supporters rallied behind her, organising counter-protests and praising her leadership. The legal battles that lay ahead promised to be lengthy and complex, a tangled web of accusations, denials and legal manoeuvring. The scandal surrounding Alice Gou cast a long shadow over Tarlac, leaving the community deeply divided. The once united town was now fractured along the lines of loyalty and disillusionment. Unity was replaced by suspicion, resentment and unease. The political landscape was in disarray, with Gou's grip on power weakened. Her opponents, emboldened by revelations, saw an opportunity to unseat her. The upcoming elections became a referendum on Gou's political future. The scandal impacted Tarlac's economy, leading to job losses and a decline in investor confidence. The dream of progress seemed to be slipping away, replaced by apprehension about the future. The story of Alice Gou serves as a cautionary tale, a stark reminder that appearances can be deceiving and even the most charismatic leaders can harbour dark secrets. The scandal left an indelible mark on Tarlac, eroding trust in government and raising questions about the true cost of ambition and the corrosive nature of power. Even if Gou were to be cleared of all charges, the shadow of doubt would likely linger, a spectre haunting her legacy and casting a pall over any future endeavours. The revelations of her fabricated identity and the allegations of corruption had irrevocably tarnished her image. The need for greater transparency, accountability and ethical conduct in government became glaringly apparent. In the aftermath of the scandal, Tarlac faced the daunting task of rebuilding trust, healing the divisions within the community and charting a new course for the future. The legacy of Alice Gou would forever be intertwined with this period of turmoil, a reminder of the fragility of trust and the importance of vigilance in safeguarding the integrity of democratic institutions.